Hey, silent warrior, that's you. You are not loud, you do not show yourself off to the world. But deep inside, you are searching for one thing, a steady state of mind, a lasting happiness. No turn of events can sweep it away. Be honest with yourself. For years, you have tried many ways. A better job, more money, a fulfilling relationship. Each time you attain one, you feel a sense of happiness. But in a moment, that feeling fades. A hard-to-name void appears. The world makes you believe happiness lies in the next thing. A bigger house, a better body, a newer car. But the more you chase, the more tired you become. The Stoics, who lived 2,000 years before us, faced this question. They were emperors, philosophers, soldiers, and merchants. They lived amid war, disease, and loss. Yet strangely, they found serenity. That serenity existed right amid chaos. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor who ruled the Roman Empire, wrote in Meditations, "You can leave this life right now. Let that shape your actions, words, and thoughts." Epictetus, born a slave, was chained his whole life. But he declared, "No one can make you unhappy unless you allow them to do that." They did not speak of happiness based on luck. They spoke of happiness from within, a capacity to keep the mind steady when everything collapses. Today, I give you 7 Stoic principles. These principles have existed for more than 2,000 years. They still hold true for the modern world. If you master them, you will be happier. You will be stronger than any storm. Listen closely, because if you skip even one principle, you will return to the old spiral, where happiness slips through your fingers like sand. Ready, silent warrior? We begin. Principle 1. Control what you can, accept what you cannot. Long ago, in a small village, there lived a humble farmer. One morning, his only horse ran away. The neighbors comforted him, saying he must be suffering from the loss. He smiled and replied, "Good or bad, who knows?" A few days later, the horse returned, bringing along a strong wild horse. The neighbors congratulated him, saying how fortunate he was. Again he said, "Good or bad, who knows?" While taming the wild horse, his son fell and broke his leg. The neighbors sighed, saying, "What a misfortune." The farmer calmly answered, "Good or bad, who knows?" A week later, soldiers came to the village, drafting all young men into the army. His son, because of his broken leg, was allowed to stay. This story has endured for hundreds of years, not because it is dramatic, but because it holds an essential principle of Stoic philosophy. Epictetus once said, "Some things are within our control, some things are not." Look at your own life. We waste energy on things we cannot change. Whether it rains today, what others think of us, whether the stock market goes up or down. This is like setting sail and blaming the wind for changing direction. Instead of adjusting the sails, you keep complaining. The Stoics believed that inner peace begins with this distinction: what is under your control and what must be accepted. You control your actions, your attitude, and the values you choose. You do not control the outcome, the emotions of others, or unexpected events. When you focus your energy on the sphere of control, worry decreases, your true strength increases. To apply this in practice, each evening, take a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle. In the left column, write your worries. On the right, classify each, within your control or outside. Act only on the column within your control. For the other, let it fall away, like a stone released from your hand. Control alone is not enough. You must also decide, where do you set the standard for happiness? Principle 2. Focus on virtue, not pleasure. In the year 174 AD, the sky was grey with rain. On the northern frontier, the Roman Empire was cold and harsh. Marcus Aurelius, an emperor with absolute power, could have been in his palace, a place of music and fine wine. Yet he chose a damp tent. With a notebook in hand, he wrote, reminding himself he could have enjoyed pleasures, banquets, gold, women, but he lived simply, ate frugally, and slept alongside his soldiers. He reflected on what is right and what is wrong. In Meditations, he wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Pleasure is what everyone chases. A good meal, a trip abroad, a word of praise. All are delightful. But the Stoics looked further. Virtue living by principle is the foundation of happiness. That happiness is enduring, not fleeting. Why? Because pleasure is temporary. When it fades, you need another dose. Virtue brings self-respect, which no one can take away. Pleasure depends on circumstances. Virtue depends on you. Picture a man who refuses a bribe. Though short of money, he loses the chance to get rich quickly, yet he keeps his self-respect, sleeps soundly, and lives at peace. To apply this in practice, before every decision, ask yourself, is this right? Will the world be better for it? If the answer is no, or the world becomes worse, stop. To live by principle, you need one skill, a skill that makes you grateful even in loss. Principle 3. Practice negative visualization. One morning, Seneca, the philosopher and powerful advisor of Rome, woke up. As he stepped out of bed, he imagined losing everything, wealth, status, even life itself, all gone. To many, such a thought would seem insane. Who would make themselves sad the moment they wake up? But Seneca understood. Facing misfortune in the mind strips it of its power. He wrote, "He who anticipates calamity makes it powerless." Think about this. You buy something new. You love it passionately until it is lost. Then comes the emptiness, the regret, the anger. The problem is not the loss itself, but that you were unprepared. The Stoics practiced negative visualization to appreciate the present. It softens the shock of loss and keeps you calm. In psychology, this resembles exposure therapy, facing your fears in a safe environment. To apply this in practice, each morning choose something precious, a loved one, your job, your health, your home. Imagine it's gone. Feel the sadness. Then open your eyes, grateful it is still there. This is not pessimism. It makes you live more deeply. An ordinary morning becomes extraordinary. You sip warm coffee, and you hear the laughter of someone you love. Imagining loss teaches you gratitude for the present. But there is a harsher truth. You will die. The next principle, Memento Mori, is the turning point. It is not just a mental exercise, but a stern reminder. The most severe reminder life gives. Principle 4. Memento Mori. In the year 180 AD, a gladiator stepped into the Colosseum. The roar of the crowd thundered from above. As he passed by the stands, a soldier whispered, "Remember, you will die." The reminder did not plant fear, but kept him awake, unmoved by illusion, knowing that glory too will fade. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." We live as though we were immortal. We postpone apologies, delay dreams, put off living authentically because we believe tomorrow is promised. But the truth is, no one is guaranteed even one more day. The Stoics did not use Memento Mori to live in despair. They lived with urgency and focus, spending less time on the meaningless, saying what must be said, doing what must be done, cherishing the smallest moments, because they will not return. Imagine holding an hourglass. Sand flows down grain by grain. You do not know how many grains remain. You cannot stop the flow, but you can choose how to live. To apply this in practice, place a physical reminder of Memento Mori, a bracelet engraved with words, a skull, or an hourglass. Each time you see it, ask yourself, if today were the last day, what would I do differently? Then do that thing at once. But if death is certain, how do we not only accept but even love adversity? The next principle, Amor Fati, will take you further, from accepting death to loving everything that happens. Whether beautiful or cruel, you will embrace life. Principle 5. Amor Fati. A violent storm struck, and the small ship tossed fiercely. Sailors screamed, cursing their fate, but the captain stood firm, eyes fixed on the mast. He said, "Good, this is an opportunity to master the ship in the storm." To him, the storm was not an enemy. It was an inevitable part of the journey. This is the spirit of Amor Fati, to love one's fate, not just to endure, not just to accept, but to love it all, fortune and misfortune, advantage and adversity, welcoming both. Nietzsche, influenced by the Stoics, once wrote, "Do not merely bear what is necessary, but love it." Why is Amor Fati so powerful? Because pain does not come from the event itself. It comes from resisting the event. When you complain, "Why did this happen to me?" you make yourself a victim. But when you say, "Good, this is the story of my life," adversity becomes an ally, and you grow. Amor Fati is not passive. It actively transforms everything. Losing a job, good, a chance to find a new path. Betrayal, good, now you know who can be trusted. Failure, good, more data for success. To apply this in practice, when hardship comes, pause, whisper one word, good, a signal for your mind to turn from resistance to learning. Treat every event as a chapter in the book of your life. Without it, the book loses depth. Yet even as you love fate, you still need inner strength, the kind no one can take away. Discipline. The next principle, discipline equals freedom. Discipline is not a chain, but a door that opens to true freedom. Principle 6. Discipline creates freedom. Imagine a Roman soldier in the camp. Before the sun rises, he is already awake, sharpening his weapons, practicing sword drills, running, and eating with restraint. To many, this seems like harsh confinement. But in battle, while others tremble, he remains calm. Steady discipline turns fear into strength. Stoicism teaches, freedom does not come from doing whatever you want. Freedom comes from mastering yourself. Epictetus, a slave who became a philosopher, once said, "No one is free who is not master of himself." Today, we confuse freedom with instant gratification. Eat whenever craving strikes, you grow obese and sick. Speak the words anger dictates, you lose friends and credibility. Chase every desire, you end up bound by them. Stoicism reminds us, discipline is not a prison, it is a shield that protects you. Discipline in eating, freedom from disease. Discipline in spending, freedom from debt. Discipline in thinking, freedom from emotional chaos. To apply this in practice, start with small habits. Wake up on time. Exercise. Keep a journal. Set clear limits. Social media time. Monthly spending. Ask yourself, is this the action of a master or a slave to desire? These boundaries open a greater door, the door that leads to inner freedom. Discipline brings freedom, but personal freedom alone is not enough. We cannot be happy in a world of only ourselves. The final principle: live in harmony with nature. It brings the journey to its destination, true happiness, when you know yourself as part of the vast universe. Principle 7. Live in harmony with nature. Each morning, the sun rose over Rome. Marcus Aurelius stepped outside, breathing deeply. In Meditations, he wrote, "Live in harmony with nature. We are all born from it, and we will all return to it." For Stoicism, nature is not only forests, mountains, and rivers. It is the order of the universe, the law of cause and effect, the cycle of birth and death. Every being plays a role in the whole. Why does this matter? Suffering comes from resisting nature. We want summer to last forever, yet leaves still fall. We want youth without end, yet hair still turns grey. We want others to act as we wish, but they have their nature and cannot be forced. To live in harmony with nature is to realize your smallness. You are but a part of a greater picture. Fulfill your role as father, as son, as citizen. Do not demand that the world run by your will. Learn instead to live by its laws. Epictetus said, "Do not demand things to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do. Then you will find peace." To apply this in practice, walk in nature, observe the plants. The sky reminds you that all things have their rhythm. When facing a difficult person, remember they act by their nature. When events do not go your way, do not resent them. Ask instead, what is the universe teaching me? When you live in harmony with nature, you find tranquility, a happiness nothing can take away. The 7 Stoic principles have led you here, a journey to live more happily. Hey you, yes you. We have walked a long journey together, mastering perception, steering emotions, and facing death, loving fate, building discipline, living in harmony with nature. These 7 principles are not dry words. They are a compass, the guide that helped Stoics weather every storm. Control what you can. Govern your emotions. Live in the present. Remember that you will die. Love your fate. Let discipline open the door to freedom. Live in harmony with nature, that is the core. Everything revolves around one axis, mastery of the self. Live fully, not dragged along. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Happiness depends on the quality of your thoughts, not on wealth, not on power, not on recognition. Happiness is how you see, how you live, how you love." So, tell me, which principle will you apply first? Make a commitment by sharing your thoughts. If you wish to go deeper, the next video awaits. 9 Habits of the Silent Warrior, Building the Fortress Within. The world out there is turbulent, but you are the flame, steady and unextinguished. I am the Stoic Flamekeeper.